So we're here today starting a drain of a fermenter. So this tank's been in here for about 27 days. And the first thing we need to do is take the juice out of the fermenter so that we can eventually take all the pumice out of here through the bottom door there and press. So the first step is simply drain away all the juice into the tub. The tub is connected to a pump, and then the pump is pumping it off in that direction to an empty tank. So we're here today and we're digging out the first Atlas Peak tank. So we've drained it last night, and then we're going to start shoveling the tank out. So we can take a peek inside, and you can see up inside there, all the pumice is going to come out. Now this pumice is going to get put into a basket press. So from here, we're going to look down onto the tank, and you can see that we've started to dig through the pumice. You can see the tank door down at the bottom there. And eventually we'll get all of the pumice, which is just the skins, the seeds, most of the juice, or what is now wine, has been transferred to another tank. So basically, in these smaller tanks, there's really no need to get inside. So Roberto here can actually rake most of the pumice out before we take it to the basket press. And so this is what it looks like when we finally get all of the grapes and everything out of the tank, and we'll just have to come by here and wash this tank, and it'll be ready to be refilled. And once we get the pumice dug out of the tanks, then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of CO2 over the top, a little bit of dry ice over the top, and it helps keep the fruit flies out. I'm going to put a couple of lids over the top, and we're going to get it out to the press as soon as we can. So obviously the first thing to do is to load the pumice that we dug out of the tank into the basket. Let's load one. Alright, so now that we've got the basket completely full, we're going to put it into the framework of the press and start pressing. So Nick here is just going to lift the basket press up with a forklift and slide it in place, and then we can start the pressing program. So Nick's been doing this for a couple of weeks now, so he's got this down. It started out, it takes a couple of people, now it's down to just him. He's trying to line it up here. So now that we've got the basket press in place and loaded up, now it's just a matter of putting it on the PLC and get pressing here. So Nick's going to connect up one of the stainless steel lines to drain into the sump, and we'll be off and pressing. Alright, so Nick's going to flip the switch and we'll start pressing. So Nick's going to adjust this to program 4. That's the program that we've selected for pressing Atlas Peak Cabernet, and away we go. So the ram's going to start coming down slowly, and as it does, it's going to apply pressure to the pumice inside the basket, and as it applies pressure, then we get juice running out of the pumice. So we can see that as the hydraulic ram is starting to put a little pressure on, we've got a little bit of skins and stuff popping out of here. It's not really pushing down that hard, but eventually we'll be pushing out and we're going to start collecting some liquid. And that liquid gets collected right here in this pan right here. And after the pan starts to fill up, it's going to run down here, down into here, and you collected in the sump. So as we start to press, you can see right now we got just a little stream of flow right here. And then as the pressure picks up, we're going to get more and more flow out of this. You can even just hear it building up a little bit. And then we're going to collect all of that wine into the sump right here. And then as the sump fills up, we are going to then transfer all the wine into these barrels right here. So we've collected up about 60 gallons of pressed wine. And so what Nick's going to do right now is he's actually just going to pump it over to the barrel. And I really like being able to collect the pressed wine fractions in a barrel. I think it protects it against oxidation. It really gives us an opportunity to look at the different pressed fractions as they're collected. And then in December, we'll just all sit down and evaluate barrel by barrel the pressed wines. And there's a big difference between the pressed wine that comes off first, the pressed wine that comes off second, the hard pressed fraction versus the light pressed fraction. All those things are going to make a big difference in the pressed wine. So now that we've got the press finished, all that's left is to pick up the basket and take the press cake back out to the vineyard where we can compost it. So Nick's going to slide the forklift in here and pick the basket out of there. He's going to take the basket off and leave the press cake behind. So now all that's left is for Nick just to pick up the basket and leave the cake behind. So if everything goes right, we should end up with a nice little birthday cake right here. And there it is. Not a problem. So from the pumice that we dug out of the tank to a couple hours later, we've got this nice little cake here that we will take out, dump into a dump truck, drive that dump truck out into the vineyard, and this all gets composted. So this is the last stop. All we gotta do is dump it in the dump truck here.